Okay, so what we're starting today is Chapter 1, Linear Equations. Now, evaluating an algebraic expression. An algebraic expression is an expression that may contain numbers, operations, and one or more variables. Now, the key thing with an expression is it doesn't have an equal sign. It does not have an equal sign. So if we had something like this here, 6x plus y equals 7, this is an equation. An equation will have an equal sign with stuff on the left and right. Now, if it doesn't have an equal sign, so if this has just been minus 7, this is an expression. An expression is a set of terms where we have variables and numbers with addition, subtraction, but no equal sign. It is an expression. To evaluate an algebraic expression for given values of the variables, substitute the values into the expression and simplify. So what that means is we're going to plug the numbers in and simplify it down. So this right here is our first problem. Now what do we notice there? The two bars are what? Absolute values. Anything that comes out of an absolute value will always be what's inside of it, but non-negative. It won't be. It will either be positive or, well, 0 can't be positive or negative. So it's a non-negative number. So if we want to evaluate this expression for x is equal to 8. So what do we know about the value of x here? It is what? 8. So what that means for us is we're going to do 4 minus 8 plus 2. And now we'll simplify. Now these calculators here will not do absolute value. So we have to simplify what's inside the absolute value first by hand. So what is 4 minus 8? Anybody know? Huh? You almost had it, I think. So try it in a calculator if you're having trouble doing it in your head. 4 minus 8. Negative 4. It is negative 4. So what's the absolute value of negative 4? It is 4 because it comes out positive. So 4 plus 2 is? So the answer for this here is 6. And that's it. Questions on this here? So you guys can go on and write that down because you can put these on your notes. And that's mainly what we'll be doing with evaluating. We'll be plugging the numbers in. Yes?
I don't remember well, but I think I remember what Miss Williams said. If the negative is not inside the absolute value, it's really positive.
Yes. So, have you all gotten this copy down, for those who are? Yes? So, I'm going to erase this. And so if we said negative 4 minus x plus 2, if we said this was what we wanted. So negative, so 4 minus 8 would still be the same. So 4 minus 8 would give us negative 4. So the absolute value of negative 4 is still 4, yes? But the negative on the outside is still there, making it what? Negative. Which would give us negative 2. So if there's a negative on the outside, the absolute value of negative 4 is 4, but the negative absolute value of negative 4 is negative 4. Do y'all see that difference? So the absolute value only changes the sign of what's inside. It doesn't touch what's outside. Any other questions? That was a nice question, Lily. We good with this here? Yes? Let's look at this one. So what is this symbol here? Do y'all recognize it? The square root. So what are we looking for when we find this, or looking at a square root? A number times its self. Because when we talk about square roots, we're trying to find what number times itself gives us that number. So again, what are we plugging in? 8. So we have 2 times 8 minus 3. Can I plug square roots in the calculator? So could I plug that entire thing into the calculator? Yeah, go on and do it. I just picked one out. So second x squared. Yep. And make sure once you finish doing the parentheses, once you finish doing this here, make sure to use that left arrow or right arrow to get out from under the square root. Because if you don't and include this in the square root, it will give you a different number. Yep, so do second, and then this one. So to get the square root, you have to do the second, and then make sure to, yep, minus 3. So just hit, so, yep, and then minus 3. Everybody get 1? And that's it. Now, looking at this mathematically, what we would say is 2 times 8 is, what is the square root of 16? Do y'all know? What times itself is 16? It's 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16. 8 times 8 is 64. So, I mean, if you have those down in your head, that's awesome. If not, calculator will help. But our answer is 1. That's it. Questions on these here? We good with these so far? Yes? You ready for the next one? So we have 2 minus the absolute value of 3 plus x, and x is 4. So here we have 2 minus the absolute value of 3 plus 4. So unfortunately, we can't do absolute values in these calculators here, so we have to simplify it first. So what is 3 plus 4? 7. So we have the absolute value of 7. So what is the absolute value of 7? It's just 7, isn't it? And then what do we do last? -5. Questions on this here? And that's it. That's all we have to do for this here. I want you to try this one on your own and let me know when you get the answer. Okay, so when we look at this here, so we plug it in, so we got the square root of 9 times 4 minus 5. And if I plug this into a calculator, we get 1, yes? because here it would be, because 9 times 4 is 36. The square root of 36 is 6. And 6 minus 5 is 1. That's it. Questions on these here? We good with this here? Yes? How about this one here? I have a feeling y'all are pretty solid or good with these here. Y'all want to try this one on your own and then come back together? No? So let's see this here. So 2 square root of what? So what's the value of m? Oh, so they put a semicolon there. Now negative 6 plus 31. Well, you can plug this into the calculator. Would be 25. I'm guessing some of y'all already got the answer or getting close. Okay. So, okay, so you did the square root of negative 6 plus 31? Yeah, square root of 25 is 5. And last but not least, we do 2 times 5, which is? No, you're good. 10. Yeah, since you plugged the whole thing in, you got the final answer. I was just doing it step by step. So some of these you'll be able to plug the entire thing into the calculator. Yeah, so you can do that.
I already did the next one.
The one on the next page. So we good with everyone? All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, so this is slightly different than the one we did. And the only real slight difference is what? We have 2 variables instead of 1. That's the only difference. Now, what is the value of x? What's the value of y? Plug it in. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 3 times 4 is 12, and this gives us 6. Questions? A little impressive. So we're good? Okay. We ready for the next one? X plus y over the square, x squared. So we'll plug in the values of x and the values of y. So we have negative 3 plus our value of y is 4 over negative 3 squared. You have to be careful with the negative 3 on bottom when you square it. What did y'all get? Did all of y'all get negative 1/9? What'd you get? Positive? Negative 2.5. Okay. Okay, so when you do this here, so you can do it that way, but what we'll have to do is this. Yes, I would agree with that. But you can also use this for fractions. So you don't have to worry about that order. Because when you wrote it in there originally, so I'll get to that here in a second. So if you type it in the calculator, as this here, the calculator's order of operations is going to do as follows. It's going to simplify this here first. Then it's going to divide, and then it's going to add, which isn't what we want. So to fix that, you almost have to put a set of parentheses around here. So if you're going to do it that way. Yep, or there's the fraction key on that calculator, so you can set it up like a fraction. So have it the -3 plus 4 over this to do it. Now, one of the things I said, you need to put parentheses around this here, because the actual answer is 1/9. Yes. Some of it, yes. Awesome. It's going to be, I think, a lot of the stuff you've done before, we're just going to have it in a different form. I'll try not to. I'll try not to make it complicated. Now, the reason it's positive is because -3 squared is saying that we're taking -3 and multiplying it by itself, yes? A negative times a negative is a positive. It's a positive, yes? Now, if in the calculator you don't include the parentheses, and you write it like this here, it sees it as -3 squared. So it's going to do 3 squared, and then it's going to attach the negative to it, which is not what we want. We want -3 times -3. The way the calculator sees this, it sees -3 times 3. It doesn't attach that negative to it. So what we have to do is we have to put parentheses around the -3 when we square it. So if it's a positive number, it doesn't really affect it. But when it's negative, we've got to have those parentheses. Okay? And sometimes if you're not sure, putting extra parentheses around the numbers is never a bad thing. Because if I wanted to plug it in like this here, it's not going to change it. It'll just make sure the negatives stay the same. Okay? So here it's not a big deal, but with the square, it is. It is important. Let's try another one. I think y'all have probably gotten this one done. Go ahead and give this one a try. I think that's the last one, isn't it? Okay, so the pacing's about right. Got an answer, got an answer. Everybody got an answer? -5? Mm-hmm. And that's it. Yep. This is -5 because we'll do 5 times -4 plus 3 times 5, which will give us -5. And that's it.